Okay, I'm back and I'm having trouble smoothing it out. So I've been using the wax paper and I've been trying to smooth it. You just stick it on, you kind of smooth it a little bit, kind of rub it like that, kind of flatten out. Now, does it really matter around the top ring part because you can do your border on that. However, I have gone around this several times and then I have to kind of re-ice a little bit and then let it dry a little bit before you can touch it, because if you do it when it's still a little bit wet, then it doesn't stay. But I got a lot of it smoothed out, but then it's just really not wanting to smooth out real well. So what I'm thinking is sometimes you have to roll with stuff like that. Then it makes you get really creative on what you're going to do. I should have just went ahead and made some fondant and rolled it out, because I can make fondant where it tastes really good. I just thought my kids are used to the, you know, the buttercream, which it's not butter, but I mean it's a buttercream is what it's called. And so they're used to that, and I thought I would do the same. I should have went with fondant because I could have rolled it out, smoothed it, and just laid it over the cake and then trimmed it up and made it look really spectacular. So, lesson learned. But, of course, I haven't done cakes in quite some time. I mean, it's been a while. Like, I'll do cupcakes and stuff for family and maybe decorate some cookies and stuff. But as far as cakes go, I haven't done a cake in quite some time, so I'm a little rusty. But sometimes this kind of stuff just doesn't want to cooperate with you, and then it makes it a little hard to do the cake. And see, if it's a little moist, it will kind of stick a little bit. We'll try this side a little bit. So basically what you try to do is you take that wax paper and you just kind of smooth the cake out. And that's how they get it, where it's all smooth like that. But see, if it's a little wet, it'll pull it back. So, and if you get any creases in the wax paper, it'll definitely show up on the cake. But I had to kind of go over it a little bit more with a little bit of fresh icing to kind of fill in some of those rough spots. And see, it's still sticking a little tiny bit. You can get a fan, except for mine's all packed. You can get a fan and kind of dry it out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make the blue coloring, and I'm going to go ahead and do something different on the cake, and that way I can just do some kind of design to cover that up, and then do the border and do the border around the top edge, and then do that and then that around the bottom, and then just adhere those little tiny feet that I got for the baby shower cake. And it'll still look really cute, but I really kind of wish now I would have went with the fondant. But you don't buy the fondant unless it's changed. It used to just not taste good. But I know a few recipes to make it taste absolutely incredible. So it's not this bland looking yucky stuff on top of a cake. Fondant looks beautiful. I mean, it makes the cake look really, really nice. But I'm kind of old school. I do it normally the old way, but this cake's kind of giving me a run for my money tonight. So I've tried to work on it a little bit today. However, I had company and I had lots of phone calls, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get this done. So yeah, I have got to get it done today. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I'm gonna color the icing, and then I'm gonna start a design, and I'll come back and bring y'all with me. Okay, so here's what I decided to do since I cannot get this smoothed out. Go ahead and scoot this stuff over here. Is I'm going to go ahead and cover up the mistakes. So what you can do is you can cover up the mistakes. Since I cannot get this icing to smooth out, it's going to take a while, but this is a nice little cake tip that can do this. Make sure I got it at the right spot. There we go. And then I'll just cover the whole entire side of the cake like this. All the way down. And then I'll adhere those little footprints to the sides. And then I'll do a border on the top. And this is messy, so that's why I got an apron on. I cannot find my regular turntable, so I had to borrow this little Lazy Susan, but I do have a cake decorating one. I think I need it up a little bit higher, but I'm already into the decorating stage, so it is what it is. There we go. Do y'all see that? And it can just cover the sides. And next time I'll use fondant. But it'll still be really cute. You can do that, or what I'm doing right now, or you can do dots. There's a cake tip that makes it look all like grass. You can put that all over it. So these are things that you can do to decorate a cake, make it fun, and cover up when you cannot get it to smooth out. Keep readjusting the icing in the bag. And if you make a mistake and that doesn't go on as smooth, mess up, just take you a little rag, clean your cake tip off, get your little spatula thing right here. You always should have several of those ready. Since I didn't get it even, you can just peel it right off. Put it right there. Then you can go down right here. Get that cleaned up and go back into the icing. And here you go again. Then you get a second chance to make it smooth and pretty. And as you pipe the icing out onto the cake, your cake bag will, you'll have to keep adjusting it to get the pressure to release the icing, so it can pipe out real smooth and no air pockets. Because if you have any air pockets in there, it'll kind of throw the icing out. It'll just splatter the cake. And if you mess up toward the bottom like I did, don't sweat the small stuff, because you're going to put a border around it anyway. So the bottom part is you're just covering it with a border to kind of clean up your messes. And then this little extra towel right here can clean off your cake tip. Oh man, that one messed up. So again, you can just take your little scoopy spatula, take that right off. Put the icing back in there and then it can recolor. Make sure I got the cake. Clean it up real good. Here we go again. The turntable just allows you to move the cake around so that you can work and decorate it. Just in your bag. In the description, I will leave a note as to what cake tips I'm using. This is a 47. It's a Wilton cake tip. And this is also kind of like you can do baskets. Ways to go. So when you think you're getting close, and it's like, oh no, still a lot more to pipe on here. I missed it. Need to tip off again. It does get messy. Readjust the icing in the bag so I don't get any air bubbles. Got to keep looking at the tip because one side's smooth and one side has the ridges on it to make the basket look. About done with the top part. Almost done with this little part. Hands getting a little shaky. This top part, the top cake part, is done with that little portion of the decorating part. And kind of smooth the top right there. Because I have some reserve icing I held out that I didn't cover, to try and use for this top part to make it super smooth. And this is kind of tricky because sometimes it can stick. Mind you, you do not have to get neat right around in there because that's where your border is going to go. As long as you can get that top part pretty smooth, get a decent area for the border. It's a lot of work into a cake. There's ways to make cakes look really pretty, even if you can't get them super smooth. Next time I'm using fondant, that is for sure. See where it's starting to stick a little. Yeah, I figured that might happen. kind of just raising that up a little bit. And that whole area right there will get it to where I can do the border and it'll be pretty even. There we go. Get this jam. Okay, come on, smooth out. I think that's as smooth as I can get this one right there. So get this stuff over. Let's drop down to the bottom cake. We're going to do the same thing we did up here. And I could change it up a little bit to do a different type of pattern. We could do the smooth side on the bottom and change it up. Let's see how that looks. Then I'll decide. What y'all think? She's done this live so you can get some input. But I couldn't do this cake and then follow the chat either. Kind of like that. Gives it a different bottom part. Different design. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on the cake and then give you all a break because this is going to take quite a while, and I will come back when I get more done and show you some more. I'll get you later. Okay, so I am back with the finished product of the cake. I think I'm going to just leave it as it is. Might fill in just a few spots just around here. Looks like I missed a few spots with the basket. So I will put that tip on and finish that little part right there. Didn't notice that. I already threw that tip in the sink. Anyway, I decided to go with the basket weave and make it look like a basket instead of just doing the strips, because I thought this looked a lot cleaner. Dang it. Here it is right here. So I'll go ahead and fix that real quick. I couldn't get the bag that I bought to work, so I have these Wilton plastic disposable ones. And so when I get done, I'll just put the icing somewhere and then just go ahead and let me pipe a little bit. And there we go. Make sure it's not stuck. Just gonna get those little edges, just put a little tiny bit to cover up the white. What happens sometimes it sticks. And it doesn't want to work. Let me grab another little rag. There. Okay, let's see if I can get it to go now. Like I said, it's just a few tiny little spots here and there. gonna fill in. Hardly noticeable. Here we go. And once I'm done with that, I won't be done. Then it's about an hour cleanup in the kitchen. Lots of dishes. And clean them, sweep them off the floor. Because I always make a mess. Alright. Okay, do the last little critiquing here. Make sure I got all the spots filled in. Almost all. Alright. That looks pretty darn good enough. Because it's like late in the evening and I'm getting tired. It's not coming up there. Okay. What I'll do is clean up the thing. Here we go, guys. Tell me what you think. I'm a little rusty at this cake decorating, but alright. It's Wendy at Hardneck Farms, and this is my youngest daughter's baby shower cake, so pretty excited. Alright, y'all have a blessed day. We'll talk at you later, or blessed evening.